My name is Shaman Chellaram. I'm one of the co-founders of YAMA alongside my wife, Hersha. She's really the brains behind it all. I'm just here to help make some of the speeches, as you all know. With that, though, I would like to say that with YAMA Foundation, part of the inspiration behind YAMA was my niece Talia, who started up with a rare mitochondrial disease. And she was probably only given a few months to live. And you'll learn a bit more about this later. But we've seen how much yoga, arts, meditation, and therapies can really help and make a difference in early intervention, and even in people who are slightly older. Our inspiration also from YAMA has come from the various students that we've had over the years. Katrin, one of our ambassadors, who's here in the front. Katrin. Jimmy also, who's here. You know, you guys have been instrumental in helping us take us through this journey. You know, Margaret with her children as well. So, you know, for us, it's been a very exciting time, and we're just so happy to have you all here with us. Hersha is really the person behind YAMA, and I would really like to introduce you to this extremely important person in my life. Hersha's work with YAMA has been tirelessly effort coming into this, and she does all aspects of running the organization, strategic direction, right through grant writing, proposals, mentoring, training the teachers, working directly with the students, and of course mopping and cleaning up the floors and any yoga mats afterwards. That also goes with our team as well, because a lot of you do all of that as well, so thank you for that. But aside from her work at YAMA, Hersha actually runs Hersha Yoga, which is a school of teacher training, which educates yoga teachers to be accessible and inclusive. You know, Hersha has been teaching yoga for 20 years. I know she's been practicing it her whole life because I've known her since I was about 6 years old. You know, and she's a veteran yoga therapist as well, specializing in teaching yoga and meditation to people with disabilities and special needs. And all the yoga programs you see in Hong Kong's special education needs system and centers exist largely down to Hersha's efforts on the yoga side. In 2014, Hersha received the Woman of Hope Award as Children's Advocate and has recently been recognized as 20 yoga teachers of color to watch in 2020. Now, this is quite an amazing accolade when you look at it. This was a global award. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to this most important, incredible woman in my life, Hersha Chellaram, founder, executive director of YAMA Foundation.
Thank you, Shaman, for that very nice introduction. And welcome to everyone. Good morning, and thank you all for being here. I am so honored to be here among Hong Kong's pioneers in accessibility to launch Hong Kong's first Accessible Wellbeing Community Events series. This is an event that I hope is the start of many to come in the future. This event would not have been possible without the support and dedication of many talented individuals. And I know that Shaman had already mentioned the students and of course the parents of the students that helped us get this off the ground with their trust. But for this event to happen, there are a few thank yous I'd like to start with. Firstly, to Lululemon, our title sponsor, who saw our vision for this event and immediately rallied the support to make it happen. Second, to the Haralila Group Limited and the Holiday Inn Golden Mile Hotel for sponsoring today's venue, and to Pilar Moraes and Platform Event Space for sponsoring the venue for all our sessions in November. It's such a delight to be able to work with venues that value accessibility and the importance of accessibility for people with disabilities and special needs. I would also like to offer some gratitude and support to our sponsors and supporters, Plus Group International, Lokumal Group, Sip and Sound, the Open Door Cafe and Courtyard, the Mixing Bowl, and Lillian Aromatherapy. I would like to thank all our presenters for today and the presenters in November for their time, their effort, and most importantly, their expertise. Without you guys pioneering the way forwards, it would make our work so much more difficult. And of course, my heartfelt thanks goes to the planning team behind this event, Nirja, Deepa, Evie, Rosanna, and Jennifer. This team has worked so hard to adapt, adjust, and accommodate this event in its many iterations since we were supposed to host this last year. But as you know, the world turned upside down, and they have just been able to reinvent this whole event so it could happen today. Accessibility is one of the core principles outlined in the United Nations Convention for the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. The purpose of this convention is to promote, protect, and ensure the inherent dignity and the full and equal enjoyments of all human rights and fundamental freedoms by all persons with disabilities. Persons with disabilities include those who have long-term physical, mental, intellectual, or sensory impairments. And these challenges are often accompanied by other societal barriers. And these barriers may hinder an individual's person's way to achieve full, effective, and equal participation in society. According to Hong Kong's Census and Statistics Department, almost 700,000 people in Hong Kong live with a disability, a special need, or a chronic illness. Moreover, as our population continues to age and the prevalence of chronic disease rises, we can expect more people to experience disabilities. When you include families, caregivers, friends, and the wider community, this is a really, really significant portion of our community. Actually, every single one of us here can expect to experience some form of disability at one point in our lifetimes. So it's really, really important to pay attention to the barriers that prevent people from living full lives, caregivers included. The World Health Organization describes these barriers as factors in a person's environment that through their absence or presence limit functioning and create disabilities. These factors include aspects such as a physical environment that is not accessible, a lack of assistive or rehabilitative technology or equipment, negative attitudes of people towards disabilities, services, systems, and policies that are either non-existent or that hinder the involvement of people with a health condition in all areas of life. So addressing disability becomes a social responsibility, one that we all bear. Instead of thinking about having to fix a person, we must instead fix ourselves, change our environments, and shift our own attitudes to be more inclusive and accessible-minded. Variety is the spice of life. Celebrating our differences and embracing diversity among all people is how we create a richer, more beautiful community in Hong Kong. In my work, one of the first things I usually say to parents who bring children to me or family members is, first of all, there is nothing to fix or to change, only to accept and to love. People are people are people. Hearts are hearts are hearts. And if you give people a chance, you will see how intelligent, funny, smart, creative, resilient they are. In fact, the people that we have worked with, and all the teachers at YAMA can agree, they give more to us than we can ever expect to give to them. And for all of them, I say thank you from the bottom of my heart. The work of YAMA Foundation is to provide equitable access to yoga, art, and meditation. We know that these are proven interventions to enhance physical, emotional, and social well-being for all persons who participate. But unfortunately, not all yoga, art, and meditation and other well-being services are created equal. Hong Kong's well-being industry, and actually that of the whole world, It has become largely commodified, catering mainly for affluent and able-bodied people, excluding the communities that are most in need. Moreover, most of the trained professionals in Hong Kong are not, and around the world, are not equipped to work with vulnerable communities. A 2016 study for the Home Affairs Bureau cited the shortage of knowledgeable coaches and instructors as one of the biggest obstacles for people with disabilities and special needs to participate in sports or leisure time physical activity. So our work becomes simple. We have taken it upon ourselves to address these social issues. Through community outreach and education, we hope to tear down barriers and build bridges. Today's launch is us doing our part to creating a barrier-free society, where people with disabilities and special needs can enjoy the following. They can pursue their goals of well-being. They can develop self-acceptance and self-reliance to look after their own quality of life. They can feel empowered to follow their dreams freely. They can discover a potential career path. And most importantly, they can feel supported by a caring community. Our work today is more relevant than ever. With anxiety, depression, and isolation brought about by COVID-19, so many families and community members have come to us for help in supporting their well-being for their children and their family members with disabilities and special needs. The Accessible Wellbeing Community Events series is a direct response to this need, and it provides a platform to amplify the voices of people who are working alongside us in this regard. As you will also see later, we've brought together an impressive lineup of speakers today, each of them incredibly strong and resilient human beings by any measure. And they're going to share with you insights on supporting physical and mental health and finding a community or a tribe during these uncertain times. And over the next few weeks, we'll bring together local leaders who have dedicated their lives to serving people with disabilities and special needs, to offer you a range of recreational well-being activities that are adaptive, inclusive, and body positive. All of the Accessible Wellbeing community events are targeted at people with disabilities and special needs and their families. We hope you will help share these events with your families, your friends, and your constituents, so they may also enjoy barrier-free access to well-being. Because we firmly believe in this. All people have the fundamental right to feel good in their bodies, to experience peace in their minds, to live rich and colorful and rewarding lives, and be part of a caring community. So thank you all of you for being here today.